Hi, welcome to You Can Do Medicine. My name's Tom. I'm a first year medical student at Edinburgh University, and it's good to see you. So, today's video is going to be looking at uh, interviews for medicine at the Scottish universities that take on access students. Now, I say that as you can only, uh, or the only universities that take access students are Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Aberdeen. I actually did an interview at all three of them, and the interviews are quite different at the three different universities, so you do need to prepare for them differently. And it's important that you have a good understanding of what you're walking into, because it'll be among the most challenging interviews you'll ever have in your life. So, first looking at it then, so we'll look at Glasgow to start off with. Um, Glasgow have an incredible amount of interviews for medicine. I think that the year that I did it was there was 20,000 interviews for the 850 places they have. Um, so the amount of different people doing it, so doctors and lecturers from all over the country are taking these interviews, and um, they're fairly brief. They're only about half an hour long. And so the structure of the interview is split up into two different parts. The uh, the first interview is with two people who'll be asking you um, just a bit about yourself. It'll be, your interests, why you wanting to do this, why Glasgow sort of thing. And then the other aspect of it will be more looking at the science aspect, trying to figure out if, what it is. Do you have the knowledge ultimately? Um, and the qualities for it. So, um, those are the two different parts to split up on. Now, what I would say is that the interview is, for me, was definitely the most casual, most laid back, very um, easygoing, sort of jokey, conversational almost. In fact, one of the lecturers, sorry, one of the doctors that was taking it, there was two doctors took mine, sort of went started talking about something, and the other person had to go in and like tell them to be quiet so that we could get on with the interview. So yeah, very easy going, and it's a good opportunity to perhaps put your personality forward and show that you are a people person, that you've got the emotional intelligence to sort of pick up the cues and have that conversational manner about you that you need. Um, Next, Edinburgh. Now, Edinburgh, opposite end of the scale in almost all aspects. So, a far longer interview, 3.5 hours, and it's split into two parts. Firstly, the group exercise. Obviously, you need to be careful with what I'm disclosing here. Um, what I would say is it's going to be a group exercise that you have to do. You have to develop something and present it ultimately. Now, I was doing all of my interviews online, and so the doctor that was interviewing us was essentially just watching us the whole time. They were just on mute and had put their camera off, but they were watching all aspects of it to see how you're um, interacting with other students, and then obviously how you're going to present it. Um, Now that takes up what 45 minutes, I think it was. Certainly less than an hour. Um, and then the other aspect of it was split up into sort of longer MMIs, so multiple mini interviews. They were about 10 minutes each, and all looking at different aspects. So there's three different doctors. I had a psychiatrist, I had someone that was more involved. It doesn't matter. But very formal is what I would say. And as much as you want to put forward your personal skills, looking far more into the depth of your knowledge is what I really felt. And challenging interviews, very challenging. Um, really, the questions and the sort of improvisation of sort of pushing you to see how far you can go um, made it quite difficult. And afterwards, I was, I think I had to go to sleep afterwards. I felt as though I'd ran a marathon. Um, there's also other aspects to it. I think I spent 45 minutes just having the dean of the university come in and sort of did some a sort of presentation, and then we had a sixth-year student come in and was there for like a Q&A session, you know. And so, all in all, it's broken up, uh, different parts. You really need to be prepared with your typical questions and really ensure that you've got a good depth and broad spectrum of answers for what you might be asked. Um, then Aberdeen. Now this is MMI interviews again. With the Aberdeen interview, it was somewhere in the middle in terms of formalities. There was conversational aspects of it, but it felt certainly more formal than the Glasgow one. Um, Again, it was split into three separate parts, but it was quite heavily or strictly timed. So we had 5 minutes per question. So um, I would get asked a question, and it was up to me. I could answer that for 5 minutes, or if perhaps I ran out of steam on it. They would, improvise and keep the timing going. But as soon as the 5 minutes finished, it was like I had to stop. Even if you're mid-sentence, just stop. And then wait until it was time for the next question, which I'm not sure if that's deliberately part of it, because it was then, you're asked to stop. And I'm like, um, I remember we started talking about the weather because it was snowing in Glasgow that day. And yeah, you can talk about the weather, aren't you? And that it didn't seem as natural an interview. For me, my background, I've done literally like maybe tens of thousands of interviews with people in my life, and so to sort of stop like that, it maybe felt a bit disjointed. But it's just that's the way that they do the interview. So don't take it personally. Just sort of go on with it. Again, in terms of having the breadth and the scope of answers, really important. I'm not going to go into uh, the the types of questions. There's endless banks out there of questions that you can expect to get, and ensuring that you have some sort of answer to everything, even if it's the question you get asked in any of the universities. Um, if you just ensure that you fit something in, um, what I would also say is important to have an opinion. I I remember getting asked a question about COVID, um, of course, and um, it's not so much like whether the question was to do with, should people be forced to have vaccinations that work in hospitals, I think, and it doesn't matter if you're for it or against it. It's just ensuring that you have an opinion and it's informed, so you're able to say, this is why I think it. It's unlikely you're actually going to meet the person that interviews you, so it doesn't actually matter whether or not they agree with you. Um, Maybe don't be like overly critical about things, ensure that you're balanced with your argument. But yeah, see, saying you could see the good points and the bad points, it's not what they're looking for, because doctors need to be able to make opinions or have opinions, make decisions. So you need to be able to show that you've got that in you. I would say that's quite an important thing to take into all the interviews. And don't be scared about it if you find yourself in the middle of answering a question and realizing that you're going down a path outlining something that maybe you don't even believe, but it's that's the way that your answer is taking you, if you will. Anyway, hopefully that's a bit helpful for some people. And as you can see, I'm supporting it's showing my colours with the Edinburgh Medical School hoodie. Christmas present from my dad that I'm wearing before Christmas, but hey ho, I'm not going to see him on Christmas Day, so there you go. And yeah, we'll wrap it up there. See you soon. Bye.